Well, here we are again. Welcome to Georgian Crossroads. This is Byrne, and today, unfortunately, we have another episode of Infected Georgia. And things have taken a turn here. We were doing so well, and then we weren't. So it's time to make another episode, and we will just explore a few things on the street and see how we're doing. Got a few statistics and a few images I think you'll find interesting. So come with me. Well, with the pandemic back on, it seems like getting back on the side of Matatsaminda Mountain is the best place to be. And what's strange about this episode of the pandemic, looks like we'll be closing the year out with it, and it's only October 25th right now. What's strange is that on one hand things seem normal. There are cars driving around, people on the streets, businesses seem open, or do they? But keep looking, and things get strange. You start seeing a lot of businesses with for sale signs on them, empty shops. So I decided to take a walk down Rustaveli Avenue because I had seen several empty stores along the way. And I thought I would take you with me. There's no one store I want to show you, just some of the emptiness. And most of this is from the virus. There are almost no tourists on the streets at all. There have been no tourists on the streets at all this summer. And now that things are tightening up again, I don't expect to see any until at least the very earliest next spring, but maybe next summer. But we'll see what happens. This is unprecedented. And of course, I could be taking you along many other streets in the city. Many little stores and bigger stores have shut down. But this seems like a good representative sample of what you would see right now. It's going to take a while for the economy to recover here, just as it is in many places, at least a couple of years. if you walk into the big Galleria building, new mall down in Liberty Square that was put up a couple of years ago, you'll start seeing empty places. And it doesn't look like they're going to be filled up anytime soon. So I walked through the Galleria Mall before I was finally stopped by a, shall we say, a zealous guard. There were other guards who didn't seem to mind. A zealous security guard, wearing a face mask, of course. But again, I noticed stores that were just completely empty. Stores that the day that the mall was opened up were still there, and then suddenly they were gone. Also, you'll notice as we're walking down the street and in the mall, the prices slashed 50, 60, 70% off. This is the food court area of the Galleria. There was a little place here called Mr. Cook, which was an odd name for a place that sold only Georgian snacks. But as you can see, that not a lot of people right now. Here's a place that opened up shortly before, and it's shut down. And then there's a nearly empty Chinese place after that. Then another place, Mado, which has been here from the beginning, they're shut down. And you can see the seats pretty empty today. And this is a Monday afternoon. You'd expect more business today. This isn't, but who knows? Maybe there'll be more business. But normally, this place is really busy. But I think things are getting quiet again. They haven't shut them all down. They haven't shut the stores down. I don't know if they will. And finally, here are the escalators leading up to the bowling alley and the cinemas. And they have not been open since March. And then you see more people wearing masks now. The government just issued an order that everyone essentially has to have a mask. And, well, we've had to have a mask to go into all stores, but during the summer it seemed kind of perfunctory. I mean, people were kind of like, whatever, If you didn't have a mask, people weren't upset. You'd see people coming up the escalator, the long 2-minute escalator on the metro stops. And people would have their mask down like this, so that the mask was down here. Or you see this all the time with the nose covering open. And yeah, I get it. The mask does not protect you from getting the virus. Basically, if you can smell something, you can get the virus. But what it does is prevents you from breathing out, and you breathe out not only with your mouth, but with your nose. So we're in a different zone now. And I think people are, for one thing, compared to the numbers at the beginning, these numbers are much worse. More people are dying. This actually all started in the seaside area of Batumi in Ajara, the region called Ajara, which has always kind of been practically an autonomous zone here. And a lot of connections with Turkey and a lot of Islamic folks there. And a lot of gambling casinos and big hotels, and they were trying to make it Dubai by the Black Sea. And one of the things that happened was that, they opened up during the summer. I had a friend of mine, Sandro, who went out there, said nobody was wearing any protection whatsoever. The gambling casinos were open, people were by the beach, kind of these round stone beaches, not sand so much, but just little pebbles and things. And people were there, and they were not wearing any kind of protection. And that's where it started again. And everybody kind of suspected it might come back again this fall, and sure enough it has. Now, Tbilisi has the most new cases, practically 1,000 a day now. And we've had deaths. Last time I did a report, we had 14, 15, 16, 17 deaths at in May or so. Now we've got, I think it's over, 300 or more? I'll give you the actual statistics right on the screen here. But, things have changed. I have a friend who wanted to open a puppet theater up. First he thought, September. Then he thought, October. Then I saw him about a month ago. He's going, I think we'll be able to do it in November. Nope. Everything's being shut down. I did see a really wonderful ballet performance. A friend of mine is a ballerina, and she was in this modern dance performance, and it was outdoors with everyone sitting 2 meters apart from each other at night. Kind of interesting, middle of the summer, warm. But now we're heading towards the fall. And, it is fall here, but, I'm coming from Alaska, so what I consider fall this would be, in Alaskan terms, we're in, October 3rd in Haines, Alaska. So a lot more to go before we get to anything like cool weather here. But, and I have friends, they're just more worried now, more nervous about what's going on. One of the reasons why we haven't had much of a lockdown yet is because there are elections coming up on the end of, I think, the October 30th or 31st, last day of October. And nobody wants to declare a lockdown before that because, jeepers, that wouldn't look good. So I have the feeling right after that it's going to lock down. Who knows? I may not put this out till after the elections, and we'll see what happens. I have the feeling things will change a lot after that. So, but I think the government doesn't want to lock down because of the economic problems. And, I'm so glad I took a couple little mini vacations up in both the Greater Caucasus and the Lesser Caucasus. But now it looks like, I don't know, things are going to tighten up again. But we'll see. I don't think it's going to be the ghost town that we had in April. But I really couldn't tell you from here on out. So, it's a quiet evening on the side of Matatsaminda, looking out at Tbilisi. Things look normal. It's 2020. Nothing's normal. I kind of hope this is the last of these infected Georgia updates I do. I kind of hope that. But it isn't. Meanwhile, my American friends and I here, we all know we're trapped. It's not a bad place to be trapped as far as places go. I'm glad I'm not back in the States. But the problem is we could have, in the summer, left, but we didn't know about getting back. So, like everywhere else, we're just waiting and waiting and waiting. Well, as of this morning, we've had over 30,000 cases of the virus, over 11,000 recoveries, and 215 people have died. It's certainly not as bad as other countries. Neighboring Armenia comes to mind, but still, it's growing, and they expect the peak of the infection to be in November. November is not looking to be a great month for 2020, and that's probably saying something. Well, anyway, thanks for coming along with me through these strange times, and while I hope I will not make any more of these infected Georgia videos, I have the feeling I'm not quite done. So from Tbilisi, Georgia, this is Byrne saying, Kagad ik avi, which means be well. And I really mean that. I hope you are well wherever you are, and surviving this period in history with grace and with a sense of meaning, and not giving in to the insanity that is gripping too many people in this time. And, if you're feeling completely caught by all of this, I certainly understand. That is to say, if politics seems crazy, you're sick of wearing your mask, all the rest of that, your government is maybe too strict or not strict enough or whatever, I certainly understand, and I do wish you well. So, from Tbilisi, Georgia, on this late October day, Droebit. I'll see you later.